We've begun our individual summer programming at home now that school is out. A lot of things we're not able to tackle in a school setting or in a group setting like summer camp, we'll be able to do at home this summer. We have flexible hours that include home, school, or community settings for our therapy needs, so we'll be able to run a full program at home this summer. We'll be highlighting our goals, experiences, and so many other things during the summer and showing our progress along the way. One of our goals is to learn how to tie things. In the beginning of our autism journey, it was helpful that other parents and therapists mentioned prioritizing certain things over others. So when it came down to learning how to tie shoes, we grappled with, do we keep working on communication and aggression over tying his shoes? And that was a big fat yes. With the justifications we made to ourselves, like they make shoes now without shoestrings, there's Velcro and other adaptive shoes. You don't really need to learn how to tie. So we were happy with our decision at that time and we just moved forward. Cut 2 years down the road, we're now 11 and between sizes, almost into puberty. So a lot of clothing is being, changed through, and it's just a little too big. And we've noticed the need to tie a drawstring has become an issue. One issue is that he now needs help in the bathroom to either untie his pants or to keep them on when he's done. With JD, our son, now having much better control and understanding with communication and aggression, those were our topics beforehand, we're able to target this skill now, but I do wish we had done it earlier. I don't know how we would have done it, but we're here now, so we'll show you how we're doing it. After speaking with the school occupational therapist, or OT, we found out we already had some of the tools she suggested for us to use to help get this done at home this summer. We dug through our older books and found we had an old Paw Patrol book on tying shoes, and she also suggested using 2 different colored shoelaces, so it already had that. In passing conversations at events and just over time about this topic, we figured we'd throw in other things that needed tying as well. So we threw in a garbage bag and a plastic grocery bag. So it is not easy doing an OT's work. There's a reason why they go to school to learn how to implement these things. So we're figuring things out as we go, and it has been interesting. We're at the end of our first week. So we started with day 1 of break. So we set the expectations that this is what we're doing every morning. After a full week of doing it, today is Saturday, and after breakfast, my son asked me if we were tying shoes today. And I told him we could wait till Monday, and he was okay with that. But now the expectation is set that this is what we're doing every day, and he's good with it. So clap on the back for that. But for every task, we are establishing a baseline of some sort to figure out how much he may already know and where we should start. It was very clear that we're starting from the beginning, and the more we pushed on that first day, he got more frustrated as we went through it. So we are definitely starting at the beginning. We're just focusing on the first knot of the process, and we'll be doing that for at least another week or 2 before we move on to the next step. So when you're deciding on whichever way to teach your child, keep in mind that there are several different options to choose from. Our goal is to learn more than one way to tie things, because using the bunny ear method may not work on drawstrings or even shoelaces where the laces are not long enough. So the strings being too short or too long will change how you tie something. So we'll be exploring all different kinds of tying so he has the tools he needs in any situation. For example, at the end of our day yesterday, he was done for the day mentally and didn't want to complete the last task, which was weeding in the garden. So it just so happened our dog had gotten a little too much of his lunch. My son was eating hard-boiled eggs, and when he does that, he gives the yolks to the dogs. He had a lot of eggs that day, and our dog ended up getting sick, and he threw up right as we were in the middle of trying to get JD to do his last task. So I decided, let's give him a different choice than we already had offered. And I said, you can either go outside and pull a few weeds, or you can clean up the dog puke, thinking that that would be the last thing he'd want to do. And he chose to clean up the dog puke. So we went through the motions with showing him how he could do that. And I was holding a little grocery plastic bag for him to put the soiled paper towels in. And at the end, I gave him the bag to tie it up and take it outside, and he was able to do it. And that was awesome. And that was only after like 4 days. So we're still figuring out our programming, but just so you know what we're doing, we broke down each step by doing a task analysis. You don't really know how much work goes into each movement of any given task until you have to break it down, and you use a task analysis to do that. But we are starting with just the first step. We're doing it on 3 different items, 3 times each. So we start with the garbage bag, then we do the grocery bag, and we end with the shoestrings. As we build on this each week or day, we will be adding in a pair of his own shorts that he can tie as he's sitting at the table, and then we'll build up to him tying the shorts as he's wearing them. I'm not threading strings that are longer into any pair of pants. So if you get a pair where the strings are too short, go ahead and just order the next size up so it's easier for your child to tie themselves. If you think about jewelry, they have like little extenders. But I'm not creating extra sensory issues for my kid by doing anything like that. As we're between sizes right now, this is such a big issue for us, and we do have to focus on it. You want to tackle any situation that is most sensitive first. I could give 2 shits if he can tie his shoes. However, anytime you can give your kid independence in bathrooming, you should. If he can tie his own drawstrings, that limits the amount of opportunities someone else has to be with him in a vulnerable setting. There are no cameras in bathrooms, and giving him the tools for him to be independent are crucial to keeping him safe now and in the future. It's a hard topic to tell someone whose child is heading into kindergarten that they are wondering if they need to focus on that or other important things. It's all important, but we do have to choose when we are able to do these things, and this is our time as our family. So here we are. We will be completing a video on doing a task analysis, so be on the lookout for that if you're wondering how you can do that. But until then, ask your service provider, your OT, or our good friend Google. Real quick, a sponsor highlight. We'd like to thank our local service provider, Step by Step Inc. They provide community support services to individuals with intellectual disabilities, mental health, autism spectrum disorders, and physical disabilities through multiple Pennsylvania counties in the Northeast, Lehigh Valley, Southeast, and greater Pittsburgh areas. Be on the lookout for their community resource alert as they're on our list for an interview in the near future. We hope this information is helpful to you. Share it with your partner, service provider, school district if needed. If you're a service provider, share it with your clients, and parents can share it with other parents if you find it helpful. All the things that we do for autism can be applied to any other child, so these resources can be used for anyone going through the same topics, regardless of being neurotypical or neurodivergent. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and like videos so we can continue to grow our virtual platform as we're at the beginning of that. And so we know what is also working and what isn't. Comment if you'd like to see certain topics, need future or further explanations of terms, or just more clarification on anything in the videos. And as always, in the process of helping ourselves with our own children with ASD, we're sharing our experiences and info to help other families who are in the same boat or who come after us. Parenting Autism United is making our own path and paving the road for those behind us, hopefully making the journey a little easier and a little less stressful.